Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be playing Planet Crafter. Just to give you a quick tutorial on, well, base building essentially. So we'll leave a lot of it as standard, we don't care about the name. Prime is your normal planet and this one is your moon base. So for anyone who's just starting out, definitely start with Prime. Customize your settings. So just for tutorial purposes, we'll play relaxed. Leave your landing site as standard unless you want to go a bit more difficult, to be fair. Randomize, again, it speaks for itself. It just plonks you anywhere in here. But if you're just starting out, keep it as standard. Dying consequences, just no consequences at all. So if you are just starting out, it's definitely easier to put your terraforming pace at 2. So your planet essentially terraforms quicker. Vitals depletion, keep that down at 0. You don't want to be paying attention to that if you are just starting out. Weather events, it doesn't really matter. There is meteor events, but 1.4, 2 is a bit excessive, 0 is boring. So 1.4, 1.5, something like that. Power consumption, bring that down to bare minimum. Terraforming multiplier, stick that right up as well. Again, if you are just starting out. Don't put free build on because it takes all the fun out of it. Leave all this as well. You don't want to unlock anything before you actually terraform your planet because it gets very boring. You can unlock this one if you really want to, but again, it kind of takes a bit of fun out of it. Don't do that. Don't randomize your ores, especially if you are just starting out. It is far too difficult. So apply settings and then, yeah, let's go. Let's say start. I'll create that one. So when you're ready, just click load and then it will load you down to the planet. Okay, you can skip the introduction if you really want to, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Right, so you'd normally start out in a small crater like this. Just bear in mind your landing site on standard will eventually become a huge lake. So I wouldn't recommend building any sort of base around here. It will get flooded at some point. That would probably be your 3rd or 4th ship to visit. It's a pretty big one. But to start off with, use your crafting station. So you're going to want an oxygen tank, a backpack, and then these microchips as well. I will try and show you everything that they do. So backpack is obvious. Head outside, find yourself some iron, and you need 2 bits of iron. Craft and then left click your backpack. Go into your inventory and then just left click on it and it applies it to your suit. So next up is your oxygen tank. So 2 cobalt, 1 iron, 1 magnesium. So your cobalt's blue, these ones here. We're going to need that at some point. We are definitely going to need titanium. Silicon should be this one. Magnesium, where are you? Silicon. There we go, there's magnesium. So these small rigid ones are magnesiums. And then head back to your ship. Same thing with the oxygen tank, just left click on it and it'll throw it into your suit. And then you're going to want to start to build your microchips. Now bearing in mind your suit can only hold 4 slots. So the ones I would recommend is the construction and the deconstruction. So we need 1 more silicon, 2 more magnesium, 1 more silicon, another magnesium. Yeah. So obviously starting out it's gonna be a bit of a grind. Just like every other game, to be fair. Okay, if you come across any chests, I would definitely recommend clearing these out. Obviously we ain't got much space at the minute, wait until we start to build chests of our own. But clear them, but never delete the chest. And I'll tell you why later on. So I'm going to need a bit of iron. Not so much cobalt. A bit more silicon. So when you've got your materials, head back to the ship. There's another chest over there. And in the top left corner, it gives you a tutorial of what to do anyway. You can't really go wrong. If you do come across blueprints, take them straight away. You're going to need them when we have a base. Okay, normally when the sky turns this sort of colour, we're in for a meteor impact. So just keep an eye out on that. You can get killed by meteors, which is always fun. And as always, once you've created your microchips, chuck them into your suit. Okay, so that's pretty much the basics done. We don't need anything else from here. You're starting that chest. You might need a lerma seed down the line. I wouldn't take it with you just yet. Water bottles, no. Oxygen capsules, we're on pretty much infinity O2 anyway, so there's no point. So, first thing you want to be building is the living compartments. This is where you want to actually choose your base setting. And again, all of this that we're in at the moment will eventually become flooded. So there's no point in actually building here. Okay, this flat land here, this is where you really want to be building your base to start with. You can move your base down the line further north if you really wanted to, but this spot is definitely ideal. So, start out with the living compartment. You can put it on the floor, but if you run across here, look, we can't build on top of that. And if you are quite anal about your base and you want it squared off or something, then these big rock formations will eventually get in the way. So I'd recommend building your base around this point here, so it's quite open and it's easier just to lift it into the sky a bit. So that's going to be the start of your base. So what you really want is a door, so we need iron, titanium and silicon, and then a flight of stairs as well, so a couple of more bits of iron. And as discovered before, this is your titanium. You're going to need quite a lot of that down the line. Don't want that yet. So again, you're pretty much grinding for the first hour or so of gameplay. And then iron becomes a nightmare to get hold of because you use so much of it. But later on down the line, you just, yeah, you get chests upon chests of it, and you're going to end up destroying most of it anyway. Okay, so most of the time things will link up. If you see the chain link in the middle of your screen, that means that your stairs are pretty much in the right spot. Same if you are trying to link upstairs as well. As soon as you see the chain, just click on it and it will automatically fill them up. So obviously one compartment isn't going to be enough, not by a long shot. So you want to be going around 4x5 or 5x5, something like that, just to give you enough room to put everything in. Like I say, you're going to go through a lot of iron at this point. And your base mainly is going to be for storage. Ah, crap. So if you do make a mistake, on your gun in the bottom right, you can see different settings. So this one with the X on it just is a deconstruction. Just left click and you get your materials back for it. Goddamn iron. Okay, I mean, so that's your basics of base building. You're going to need power on your base. Now you can just turbine, stick them on the ground, and that's pretty much it. Doesn't matter where you put them either. So you can put them half the map away and you'll still generate enough fuel to power your base. Me, however, I like to put them out of the way a bit. I don't like my base too cluttered. Okay, most of the time places like this will become flooded as well, so anywhere where there's a drop essentially will eventually have water. So what I like to do with power is just build a little platform. You don't have to, it's just me being a bit pedantic. It's probably why I use so much iron to start with, to be fair. But you're going to need about 4 or 5 to start with. And that should power your base enough until you get to solar or nuclear power. Doesn't matter if they overlap as well, as long as you place them down. Okay, so let's leave it as 3, I think, for a bit. Yeah, why not? Another chest. So this main stage, you're looking for iron and titanium. Definitely a must. So take them and leave aluminium for a little bit. Yeah, leave that for a minute. Just remember where that chest is. Okay, the next thing you really want to be thinking about are drills. You can leave your base for the minute, because like I say, it does take a lot of iron. What you want to do is start to terraform your planet so you can actually unlock new recipes. And I normally aim for around 10 or 15 drills to start with. It just gets the ball rolling. I mean, you can delete them later on once you start unlocking T2s, T3s, T4s, T5s. And again, I tend to place them away from the base because it does become cluttered very quickly. You can put them in the water if you like. I mean, all this will become flooded later on. It doesn't really matter where you put them, they still terraform the planet. Obviously you can't put them on top of there. But just near this rock formation here is where you can just chuck a load of drills, and yeah, they're just out of the way then. And again, doesn't matter how you place them as long as you do place them. I mean, looking around, you can see an abundance of material. It's just everywhere. So if you ever get stuck, just have a quick wander around and then you'll always find what you need. So at the moment we only need titanium and iron. And again, you don't need to clutter them all up together. You can spread them out if you wish. Just keep an eye track on how many you're actually putting down. So I've only got 4 so far. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And as you can see in the top right corner, the terraformation index is steadily going up. I mean, it's not great, but it's a start. Okay, T2 oxygen. So as you terraform the planet, you will start to unlock new recipes anyway. It should tell you in the bottom every time you unlock something, even if it's something very minor, like a, I don't know, new species of butterfly. It will always tell you. So we've got 9 so far. So I'm probably going to aim for around 15. Yeah, probably 15 of them. Until 34, so that's 15. And so what we need now is another 3 iron. Definitely want that backpack as well. Okay, that should do us for the minute. The one thing that you want to focus on next is probably your heaters. So we need iridium, iron, and silicon. I will show you where to get iridium from just a minute. But we definitely want to be building this within our base, so the T2 craft station. So silicon and iron, again, very easy to gather. I never looked in that chest either, did I? So I'm gonna have a look. Could have used all that. Okay, so leave the aluminium there for the minute. I don't think we need anything else. Possibly titanium. Probably the magnesium. Leave the uranium for the sec. And then take out the Shranga seed. You're going to need that for the veggie tube, which again I will show you. Okay, so you can place down the craft station wherever you like, really, as long as it's in your base somewhere. What do we need? Dang it. One more silicon. We also need the exoskeleton as well. So I'd recommend building the backpack first. So just one more piece of silicon. mean, normally you'd memorize everything that you needed so you can just go out and gather it all, but for tutorial purposes, I will do it one at a time. So your backpack's automatically stuck in to your suit. We're going to need the exoskeleton next, so just need one more silicon. And if needs be, just write down all your materials and then go harvesting and then come back and craft it all. It's just easier. Okay. So because all your slots are already full, you need to take something out to put the exoskeleton in. So it's just easier taking out your construction mod, chucking your exoskeleton, and it gives you 4 more slots in your suit itself. And don't forget to put your microchip back in. And what's next on the list? Again, oxygen tank, because we're unlimited oxygen and unlimited oxygen anyway. We don't necessarily need the oxygen tank, but we may as well, just say we've built it all. So 1 more silicon, 1 titanium. Shouldn't be that hard to find. So your titanium. I'm pretty sure there's silicon under the base. Oh, damn it. Cobalt. And again, that will automatically drop straight into your suit because you've already got the T1 in your suit already. We can now go ahead and build the torch. So 2 magnesium, 1 silicon. So don't forget your magnesiums are small pointed ones here. And then your silicon. There's one. Okay, there's your meteor showers. So they normally drop different types of minerals, and sometimes they give you rim materials, but most of the time it will just be a combination of iron, silicon, magnesium, titaniums. If you do stay out in the meteor storm, you do run the risk of being hit by one. It's not an instant death with 1 hit, but it is pretty cool. Too far away. Without a jetpack, I'm not running all that distance. That's still too far away. For the purpose of the video, I will show you. Honestly, it's a lot easier with the jetpack and agility boots. Okay, so the rubble on the ground like this one here just means it's been struck by a meteorite. Okay, so when you see them on the floor, that one, so that dropped titanium, iron. That's not bad, titanium and iron. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think that's aluminium there. Need that anyway. So that wasn't too bad at all. We did pick up ice. You can keep ice for the time being. You don't necessarily need it. There is quite a lot of water collections. Was building torch. So again, as soon as you built it, chuck it into your suit, and then T3 backpack. Well, now we need aluminium and silicon. So that chest earlier on. Might as well pick that up on the way. And also your T1 torch isn't that great, but it's better than nothing. Let's check that out. Oh, we're good. Okay, backpack's already in there. Increases your slot size. We've pretty much built all that. So the next thing we want to be looking at is the screens, the heater, and the veggie tube. So T1 veggie tube, we need 1 magnesium. We've already got a piece of ice, so the white bits on the floor here is your ice. Again, you're not going to need it later on down the line. You might want to pick up a chest full at least, just to get you through. But your veggie tube is very easy. So once you've built it, just left click on it and it will basically ask you to put a plant in there. So the plant we picked up earlier on, just chuck it in there and it will eventually start to grow. So if you hover over the actual tube itself, it tells you how much oxygen it pumps into the air and how much energy it requires. So basically it just generates O2, which is all part of your terraforming process. And then we're looking at the screens here. So the terraformation screen is a large screen that goes on a wall. So we're going to need cobalt and silicon. Doesn't really matter where you put these screens, you can move them later on down the line if you wish. So there's your first one. So it just tells you your terraforming index. So pressure, we have 600 MPa per second. Heat, we've not even started yet. And then oxygen is only 0.45 ppq per second. So the two screens here, the blueprints and the energy levels, are only small screens. So what I tend to do is build a small desk or worktop and then chuck the screens on top of that. So we need 1 iron, 1 silicon, 2 iron, 2 silicon, 1 magnesium. Another screen. Okay, we're not going to build anything else yet until we've done the first steps in the top left. So, chuck your screens down. So the blueprint screen, it will tell you down here whether you've got a blueprint ready. So just click on decode and it will unlock something new. Hey, chili boots when you did that. Power consumption and speaks for itself. It just tells you how much you produce in, how much you're actually using, and how much is available. Easy enough. Okay, so we need progress screen, which is that one. Iron, cobalt, silicon. Where's that silicon gone? And while we're at it, let's get one more iron, one more silicon for the heater. Okay, so that's iridium, so that's quite a lucky find. I will show you where to find a cave full of it, and eventually you can start mining it from there. But we'll take that. Saves us going looking out the way for it. And with the heaters, you can't place them outside, they need to be inside. Well, T1s anyway. So just like with the drills, you're going to want around 15 to 20 of these to start off with. You can deconstruct them later on down the line, but yeah, definitely worth that then. What a built though. Fine. Shut one in there. So we ain't got the progress screen yet. So there's not much we can do about that until it unlocks. And that is pretty much it to start with. 1520 heaters, 1520 T1 drills, and a big enough base to store all your crap once you start to gather it all. So it is pretty much a grind to start with, like I say. But yeah, easy as that. You can keep your base there. You don't have to build here, of course, but just pay attention to any crevices that you come across, because 9 times out of 10 they do get filled with water. You can obviously build it above the lake if you really wanted to, but I quite like this spot. There's no trees here as well, so when you start getting trees, nothing actually grows through your base. So join me next time and we'll pick up where we left off. Cheers guys.